you can say in between the Bitcoin ETF and Trump, I think you have Michael Saylor issuing these convertible bonds, especially around November, but just this huge buying of Bitcoin by Michael Saylor. That's really the other thing that happened in 2024. Then, of course, we have the election. Election's over on November 8th. Trump's clearly elected. We now have, I think that goes down with the ETF. We have, for the first time, a pro-Bitcoin, pro-crypto president, right? Another one I forgot of, which is Trump, right before that is the inauguration in January. We have Trump launching his meme coin. So I would say that's also significant. It just shows that he really doesn't care, that the new world order has changed completely. Same time, Gary Gensler leaves on January 20th. We have Ross Ulbricht released on January 21st. That was something a lot of us Bitcoiners have been sort of pushing for a long time. And then on February 27th, we have this statement by the SEC saying that meme coins are not securities. On March 6th, yesterday, we have that the Bitcoin Strategic Reserve finally takes its initial hold. There's an immediate sell-off. They sell the news. Oh no. And then today we have this crypto summit that David Sachs is hosting. So if you look at this kind of in a line like this, it's been an amazing trajectory going from the ETF may not even happen to we have a Bitcoin Strategic Reserve. So it's rather amazing. Now, what's left? What's left is, I say the first thing, lower taxes, right? And we might see that little bit of that news today. Ideally, you want no taxes, the abolition of the IRS. That's not happening today. That's not what this crypto board is about. But we might see a statement on taxes on crypto. And that could come in different forms. I could say, you don't have to report you don't have to report to the IRS if you do, say, under $2,000 of crypto transactions in a year. That would be very positive, right? That would really help sort of adoption of payments. That would be great. The second thing is there may be no tax on capital gains. So if you hold Bitcoin for over a year, it's non-taxable. Well, wouldn't that be great? That would be amazing, right? And that would be a huge incentive to buy more Bitcoin for those of us who are not in it. I think there could be just no tax on crypto. Crypto is not taxable. And there are many who say that the IRS has never given guidance really on this. And there's no act of Congress that says that crypto is taxable, right? So anyways, that's a big positive down the road. I think another one is lower short-term rates. I mean, we're still in a 4.5% interest rate environment. I think that's a very problematic for a country with $36 trillion in debt and $7 trillion, which has to be refinanced this year. So Scott Bessent, the Treasury Secretary, has said that he wants the interest rate down. We do have another year of Chairman Powell, but he will be replaced. The Treasury is doing whatever it can to get interest rates down. And furthermore, we're having what looks like to be a recession on the horizon. So that's very good for rates. If rates go down, there are less good places to put your money, and that's good for Bitcoin. Long rates, 10-year rates. Bessent has said that one of his goals, or maybe even the biggest goal, is to lower long-term interest rates. So that's something we have to look forward to. I think they're gonna come down, and there may be QE, right? So the Fed may be back to QE. They were in QT, quantitative tightening mode, and that's sort of over at this point. But I think that the policy of high long-term rates that has now persisted since late 2022 is over. Now the other thing is we've established a Bitcoin reserve, but we haven't talked about how we can go and fund it. There's some new guidance that we have to do that in a revenue neutral way. My friend Tom Young has a great post on all the different revenue neutral ways you could do this. So this doesn't mean that it's not happening. It just means that you need to kind of cross your T's and dot your I's to do it. But there's lots of ways we can add Bitcoin now that we have the Bitcoin reserve. And then finally, there's this sovereign wealth fund that's sort of being set up independently of the Bitcoin reserve, which could buy Bitcoin, which could also buy other cryptocurrencies, could buy all kinds of stuff. So again, that's another thing that's very bullish for Bitcoin. So you put all these things together and then you add just time, right? So, we don't need any of these new other things to happen. I think we're going to get a lot of them, if not all of them. We don't need any of them to happen. All we need now is for the 1% of America that owns 50% of the stock market, that 1% includes me, to wake up and buy Bitcoin. So, I think that's going to happen. How it happens, how fast it happens, I don't know. We have the power law that tells us how long things have been happening historically. I would argue that, we are on the best of all trajectories here. I've never been so bullish in terms of, from a political standpoint, that we feel like we have the wind at our backs. We have a tailwind now. So I think we could go up, 3 to 5x for the next 18 months without too much effort. So those are kind of my Bitcoin taxes. Let me look forward to something. Am I planning another scam? No, I'm not. There's always huge sell pressure. For everybody who's buying Bitcoin, there's always a sell pressure.